Welcome to the Nameless. Every dream ended the same way, with me standing in my bedroom doorway, watching myself sleep. I remembered the first time clearly because I thought I had woken up. The room was dark, quiet except for the soft, uneven sound of breathing. My breathing. I tried to move, to step forward or back, but my body felt locked in place, like I was balanced on a line I couldn't cross. That was when I noticed the timing felt wrong. The night seemed stretched thin, like it was running slower than it should have, and I had the sudden, cold understanding that I was about to die again. Before all of this started, my life was painfully normal. I lived alone in a small one-bedroom apartment outside a mid-sized city. I worked a remote IT job that paid well enough to keep the lights on and not much else. My days blurred together. Wake up, coffee, laptop, emails, the occasional video meeting where everyone pretended they weren't half asleep.
I didn't have many close friends nearby, but that never bothered me much. I liked the quiet. I liked routines. Sleep had always come easy to me. I'd lie down, scroll through my phone for a few minutes, then drift off without really noticing the moment it happened. I rarely dreamed, or at least I never remembered them. If I did wake up in the middle of the night, it was usually because of something normal, like a noise outside or a bad position. I never thought twice about it. The first dream happened on a Tuesday night. I remembered that because I had a morning meeting the next day and went to bed earlier than usual. In the dream, I was standing in my kitchen, staring at the microwave clock. It read 12:17, blinking like it needed to be reset. The hum of the refrigerator sounded louder than it ever did in real life. I felt uneasy, like I'd forgotten something important. Then I heard a noise behind me. It was a soft sound, almost like fabric brushing against fabric. I turned around, expecting to see nothing, and instead I saw myself standing in the hallway. Not a reflection, not a shadow, just me, wearing the same clothes I'd gone to bed in. There was no shock or panic at first. It felt strangely ordinary, like seeing someone you vaguely recognized at the grocery store. I opened my mouth to say something, but before I could, the lights went out. Not all at once, room by room, starting from the far end of the apartment, creeping toward me. The darkness reached the kitchen, and the last thing I felt was the floor giving way beneath my feet. There was no falling sensation, just a sudden stop, like the dream had hit a wall. I woke up in my bed, heart pounding, staring at the ceiling. The digital clock on my nightstand read 6:43 a.m., later than usual, but not enough to matter. I laughed it off, got dressed, and went on with my day. That should have been the end of it. The dreams came back the next night, and the night after that. They were different at first. Sometimes I was in places from my past, my childhood bedroom, my old high school hallway, the parking lot of my first job. But the ending was always the same. The dream would narrow, the environment would fade, and I would find myself standing somewhere dark and familiar, watching myself sleep. Each time something would go wrong right after. A sound too close to my ear, a sudden pressure, like the air itself had thickened. Once it felt like I was sinking into the floor. Another time, the walls folded inward, slow and quiet, like they were breathing. And every time, I died. I didn't experience pain. It was more like being switched off. 1 second I was there, aware of the moment stretching thin, and the next I was awake in my bed. The problem was the clock. The first time I woke up at 6:43. The second time it was 7:02, then 7:19. The difference was small enough that I could almost ignore it, but consistent enough that I couldn't stop noticing. I started writing the times down in the Notes app on my phone, half as a joke, half because I needed proof that I wasn't imagining it. The dreams started bleeding into my waking life. I'd catch myself staring at doorways, half expecting to see someone standing there. My reflection felt off, like it lagged behind my movements by a fraction of a second. I stopped sleeping with the lights off. Then I stopped sleeping much at all. By the fifth night, I was afraid to go to bed. I stayed up until nearly 3 in the morning, watching mindless videos and telling myself that exhaustion would knock me out eventually. When I finally fell asleep, the dream started instantly, like I'd stepped into it without a transition. I was in my bedroom, standing near the closet. The room looked exactly the same as it did when I'd left it, down to the pile of laundry in the corner and the faint glow of the alarm clock. I could hear traffic outside, distant and muffled. I turned slowly toward the bed. There I was, lying on my side, facing away from me. The blanket rose and fell with each breath. I noticed small details I'd never paid attention to before. A crease in the pillowcase, the way my hand curled slightly under my chin. I felt an overwhelming urge to wake myself up. I stepped closer, and that was when I realized something was wrong with the sound. My breathing was too slow. The room felt stretched again, like time was being pulled thin. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. The version of me in the bed shifted, just slightly. I watched as my eyes opened. They didn't look scared. They looked tired, almost resigned. The moment our eyes met, the room went silent. No traffic, no hum of electronics, just a heavy, pressing quiet. I felt a presence behind me, not touching me, just close enough to be felt. I woke up at 8:11 a.m. I missed work that day. I told my manager I was sick, which wasn't entirely a lie. My body felt wrong, like I hadn't slept at all. My head throbbed with a dull pressure that didn't go away no matter how much water I drank. That night, I tried something different. I set up my phone to record video while I slept. I didn't really know what I expected to see, but I needed something solid. The dream that night was shorter. I was standing at the foot of my bed, already watching myself sleep. The feeling of being watched was stronger this time, closer. The air felt thick, almost humid. I noticed something new. The clock on my nightstand didn't have numbers. It was just a blank black screen, glowing faintly. I woke up at 8:47 a.m. I checked the video recording with shaking hands. It showed 8 hours of me lying still, shifting occasionally, nothing out of the ordinary. The timestamp jumped at one point, skipping ahead by almost 20 minutes. I checked the file details. No explanation. That was when the thought hit me, quiet and unwelcome. What if I wasn't waking up later? What if I was waking up somewhere else? The dreams started to feel random after that. They started to repeat. Same bedroom, same angle, same slow realization that I was in the wrong place. Each time, the moment before everything ended lasted a little longer. I could feel the presence more clearly now, like something standing just out of sight, waiting. On the 9th night, I managed to move. I don't know how, but when I found myself standing in the doorway, watching myself sleep, I took a step backward instead of freezing. The hallway behind me stretched longer than it should have, dim and unfamiliar. My apartment didn't have that many rooms. I heard the presence shift, like it noticed. I walked down the hallway, each step heavy, the carpet muffling the sound. Doors lined the walls, identical, and closed. I didn't open any of them. I was afraid of what I might find. At the end of the hall was another bedroom. Inside it, I saw myself again, asleep in a different bed, in a different room. Older, somehow. thinner. The clock beside that bed read 9:32. I woke up at 9:32 a.m. I started losing time during the day, little gaps where I couldn't remember what I'd been doing. My notes apps filled with timestamps and half-finished thoughts. The dreams felt more real than being awake. Sometimes I caught myself wishing I could go back just to understand what was happening. The last dream came without warning. I don't remember falling asleep. I was standing beside my bed, closer than ever before. The presence was right behind me now. I could feel it, patient and calm. The version of me in the bed opened his eyes and looked straight at me. "Don't wake up," he said, quietly. I understood then. Each time I died, I wasn't waking up later. I was waking up further along, slipping into a version of myself that had already been through this. The presence leaned closer. I woke up at 10:06 a.m. That was weeks ago. The dreams haven't come back, not the way they used to. I still sleep with the lights on. I still check the clock every morning. The time hasn't changed since. Sometimes, when the apartment is quiet and the air feels a little too still, I stand in my bedroom doorway and watch myself sleep, just to explain the feeling I can't shake. Every once in a while, I swear I see my eyes open first,